Let me introduce Dr. Karen. She's so funny. She makes you laugh, and she's an amazing woman and chiropractor. Dr. Karen Lalli is known as the Pelvic Palace Ambassador. For me, it might be a little bit of a tongue twister. She's known as the Pelvic Palace Ambassador. She brings over 40 years of healing experience to help you reconnect with your physical self, restore balance, and unlock vitality. She'll guide you through the ins and outs of your body, showing why good health is essential for confidence, immunity, and overall well being. Her topic today is from the front side to the back side and beyond. So let's welcome to the stage Dr. Karen Lalli.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Diane. I'm really happy to be here. I've been looking forward to it. And actually, my date was supposed to be in April, and I got moved up, and I was nervous, but now I'm happy to do it. And hopefully I'll be able to be a part of this at a later date as well. So there's some men here today. So when I say your pelvic palace, it's just as much there for men as it is for women. So this is really good practice for all of us. So yes, my name is Dr. Karen, and I'm known as the Pelvic Palace Ambassador because I specialize in helping people get comfortable with their body and connect to their inner vitality. I do believe the journey to wellness includes our beautiful pelvis, as Diane said, from the front side to the back side and beyond. So let's talk about those concepts. In 40 years of being a health practitioner, I have noticed how disconnected people are from their body, especially the lower half. They dislike, ignore, or even hate how it looks and don't know much about how it works. I have found, and research shows, that if you have awareness or a connection to your body, that it makes you more resilient to life's challenges. So if you're tired or overwhelmed or burnt out, what I'm going to share with you today will help you. How would you like to have someone that always has your back? How would you like to have a friend who not only wants you to feel loved, but also safe or stable, even confident? Would you like that? Do you know who that someone is? It's you and your personal pelvic palace. I want to put it on gallery so I can see all you beautiful people. There. Our palace is the center of our body, physically and energetically. It houses our gut intuition, which connects our body and our brain. And it also is the seat of our emotions alongside our heart. So us becoming aware of and awakening this aspect of ourselves will vastly increase your energy.
Sorry, Dr. Karen, are you ready to share your slides or?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, good.
It's going to be at least 10 minutes. I'm doing 2 things before that. Okay. So, how often do you give your power away to a spouse or a colleague or a family member out of guilt, obligation, or lack of clear boundaries? When we get tuned into our own selves, we can create clear boundaries. We have a reservoir of energy that we're not using or aware of. And you can learn about this in what I call my program as 5 Pathways to Pelvic Power. Here, you can discover inner stability while there's chaos around you. You can feel safe and secure in yourself, which increases your confidence and your creativity. And you can learn how to express yourself more fully, more truthfully. Imagine how your day would be if you felt seen and heard in your interactions. Wouldn't you feel like your day is going better? You can feel strong and stable in your own self. Well, the world revolves around you with its own craziness. And this benefits people who feel stuck in frustrating situations. Because when we feel seen and heard, when we are seen and heard, we feel appreciated. And this energizes us. This makes us able to be ourselves in a stronger way. But I want to ask you, what do you think I mean by strong? Bring to mind a person that you think is strong. What kind of qualities do they possess or portray? I always wanted to be known as Dr. Karen Lalli because I'm smart, I'm educated, and I want people to know about my accomplishments. Plus, I'm from New York, so I'm a fast talker, I'm a little bit fast mover, and I'm a little bit of the bitchy type. I know a lot of women like me, and it can work. You speak loudly, you get attention. But what kind of attention do you attract? Is it the kind you really want? Is it the kind you need? These are important questions for us to ask ourselves, and we probably won't get all the answers here, but I'm giving you food for thought. So I see this pattern in women that they are self-sufficient, independent, a lot of times financially stable, and they may even head a household. These are great accomplishments. But what I want to know is when you come home and shut down, how do you relax? How do you soften up? How do you embody some of your softness or sensuality? I see that many women are not feeling that. They're not accessing that. And they have the feeling that something's missing. Think about that for a moment. Just feel into that for a minute and see if that rings true for you. It could be partially true for you. So what I'd like to suggest right now is if you would like to, I'd like to help you have an experience of feeling your pelvic power and your presence in your pelvis. Would you like that? Everybody who has your camera on, raise your hand if you want to have an experience. Wonderful. I was going to turn on music, but I don't want it to be distracting. So we're going to do it just with my melodious voice. I wish it was Maxine's melodious voice, but I'm a New Yorker, as I said, so I'll do my best. The first thing I'd like you to do is get comfortable in your chair and feel your feet on the ground. Press your feet a little bit into the ground, the soles of your feet, and wiggle your toes a little. You can close your eyes if you want, or you can look at me. I don't care. I might close my eyes a little bit later. So feeling your feet, taking your energy away from the outside and actually putting your attention into your feet and feeling them on the floor, feeling them supported by the floor. Now, through the soles of your feet, I want you to start to feel, start to visualize small rootlets sprouting from the soles of your feet. Tender, beautiful, white, new rootlets reaching down through the soles of your feet, past the floor, into the beautiful earth. And see in your mind's eye how those roots kind of snake down farther into the earth, how they kind of tether you into this beautiful soil that's supporting us. And feel as your roots grow longer that your feet are open to this earth energy coming up through the soles of your feet. And if you want to, if you have a good imagination, or if you have a connection there, you can start to feel this energy kind of bubbling up through your feet into your into your ankles and legs a little bit. All right, so now we're a little grounded in the soles of our feet. Now we're going to shift our attention to our pelvic palace. I love anatomy, so I'm going to give you a little bit of anatomy to help you locate your pelvis and your personal space there. We have hip bones. They are called your anterior iliac crests. They're up at the top, close to your waist, but below your belly button. There's one on each side of your body. So let's imagine that the rim of those hip bones is the top of your bowl. And I want you to feel the front side of your bowl extending from your right and left hip all the way to the midline. And then about 2 inches or so, maybe a bit more below your belly button, and all the way down to the bottom is the front side of your beautiful pelvic bowl. Just feeling that front side. You can put your hand there if you like, below your belly button. You can breathe into your hand if you like. But feeling that bowl starting to get awareness of that front side of your pelvis. And then take your attention to one side and then the other, and follow that down from your hip bones all the way to the base where your perineum is, where the very bottom of your body is resting on the chair. And then take your attention to the backside, to where your sacrum is, your tailbone, and your coccyx, and bring it all the way down. So now you have a bowl with a front, 2 sides, and the back, and feel the heaviness in the bottom of your body where your perineum is. If you want, you can visualize that smooth bottom there, and you can even put a drop of honey in there and just see that slow swirling kind of energy that rests in the very base of your pelvis. Beautiful. I could tell you guys are feeling this. Now, I want you to try to occupy all the space that is in your pelvic bowl, in your pelvic palace. What does that feel like? What is the quality there? What is the type of energy you house there? Is it numb? Is it buzzing? Is it light? Just noticing without judgment, just checking in. Nice. You can turn your eyes in like you're looking down into your pelvic bowl, and you can smile into it if you like. You can smile into that space. Now listen carefully. With that attention, bring it to the very center point of your pelvis, the very center point of that palace that you have there. So in 2 inches from the front, or 2 or 3 inches from each side and the back. And in the very center, I want you to visualize a little glow light. A little light glowing, a warm, beautiful flame of light there. Mine looks like a little bit like a light bulb. And I want you to see that light. And when you breathe in, I want you to see that light expand and brighten a little bit. And when you breathe out, it goes back to that normal. So let's just do a couple of glow brightening breaths. Breathing into the middle of your pelvis, seeing your little light brighten with your inhale. And then as you exhale, it just contracts a tiny bit, still glowing, still shining. Breathing in and seeing it expand a little. Beautiful. I can feel you guys feeling it. And exhale. Don't make me cry, guys. Breathe into your beautiful glow light. And as you breathe in and see that glow light, feel your feet on the floor. This is your grounding, your pelvic bowl, and your feet on the planet, supported by the earth, and feeling stable in that midline center point. This is where we vibrate from. This is where we can stabilize, feel supported, and express ourselves more fully. So one more deep breath. Say hello to that place. Say, I'd like to know you. I'd like to explore this beautiful internal space, this reservoir of energy I have in my pelvic powerhouse. And eventually, when you become familiar with it, it'll be easy for you to access, and you'll be able to actually have a conversation there. So just sit quietly for one moment with your own inner light, with your own grounding on the earth, bringing the energy out of your head. Feel like you're listening from way down deep in your pelvic bowl. And that's where your ears are hearing me from. And when I ask you to open your eyes in a moment, I'd like you to have your eyes see from within, not peering out, but letting the earth come to you, letting the light and what you're going to see visually come into you instead of stretching out to meet it. Let it come to you. Nice. So telling yourself that you would like to get to know this area better, that you'd like to get to know your stability better. And slowly, as you hear my voice from way down within, take your time and then open your eyes and let the light come into you. Receive what you're seeing. Yes, beautiful souls. So I'm going to speak a little bit more about this front side, then we're going to go to the back side. I hope I have enough time. I'm not going to go into this part too much, but there's two sides to what I call our mystery. One side is our open-heartedness or our warmth, how we express love, how we share love and joy. And we all know that feeling of being loved and sharing love. The other part is our mystery. And it has to do with our desire. It's deep down inside of us. And that is beyond each individual. It's bigger than any of us. It's our inner knowing. And it doesn't matter if you have a uterus or not. It doesn't matter if you have children or not. This is where our creative force, our life, our thoughts, and our well-being originate. Here, we can transform negative to positive, because negative energy is still energy. And we can learn to transform that into positivity and poise. We can be centered in ourselves and place others 100 miles away energetically and create good boundaries. And if we learn how to rest fully, quietly, in that stillness, I think we can access our heart's desire. What do I mean by that? It may not be what you think. What I mean by your heart's desire is not some habitual or autopilot response. It's something that brings spontaneous joy to you, a smile to your lips, just thinking about it. And do we know what that is? Most of us don't. We don't settle in and cultivate that glow light, our personal palace that we can really listen to so that our head and our heart are working in tandem. When we do that, we can have a more fulfilling life. We are tuned in, and I think we can find the best solutions. People like to connect. We like to build relationships, but I don't want you to do it out of obligation. So before you say yes, learn how to check in, to tune in, and take a moment and see what the best solution might be for you. There's so much more I want to talk about the front side, but if I do, we'll never get out of here. So what I'm going to do next, while you process what I've said so far, is share my screen so I can talk about the back side. What I mean by the back side is, just a minute, I got to get my, hold on. Got to get my slides right here. Is our gut. So, wait, just a second. Good. Can you see? Can everybody see my slides or no? Hello?
Yes.
Yes,
Okay,
we
good.
can. Yes.
Great, thank you. Health begins in the gut. I mean your intestines, your stomach, etc. Everything that you think of as far as your digestive system. 70 million Americans suffer from digestive disease. We all know that. We hear it on the see, now I'm turned into my New Yorker. You see how I'm getting into my other voice? We see ads for prescription drugs and all kinds of things for irritable bowel, ulcerative colitis. I don't need to tell you about that. But on the left-hand side, do you see there's up over 2,000 types of microorganisms that live in our gut. Some are good, some are bad. And 60 up to 80% of our immune system is located in our gut. The environment we have in our gut is called your microbiome. That's your zoo of bacteria. And it contains, as I said, fungus, viruses, yeasts, the good, bad, and the ugly, different types of bacteria. And our gut flora is as individual as our fingerprint. I thought that was so amazing. Each person with what they eat and what chemicals they have and how they digest is as individual as our fingerprint. I'm going to go through these a little bit fast because we're going to have the opportunity to have another class more in depth on this next Saturday, but I want to expose you to these ideas. A probiotic is a beneficial bacteria that lives in our gut. A prebiotic is a food source for these healthy bacteria that we want to cultivate. And as I said before, your microbiome is the sum of everything that's living in your digestive tract. All of these pictures show you things that affect your gut in a negative way. Too many drugs, too much sugar, heavily processed foods, pesticides and chemicals, additives, antibiotics, and stress. All these things influence our gut to not digest fully. Probiotics help us with bowel regularity. They increase your immune system because the good bacteria, when they are in full force, will prevent the bad bacteria from flourishing. It reduces gut inflammation to have good probiotics, calms irritation, helps with allergies, both food allergies, asthma, skin rashes. All of those things are influenced by the way you digest. Also, whether you get yeast or not, and believe it or not, your brain is so affected by what's going on in your gut. We'll talk about that a little bit. So looking at this slide, pick a few of the foods you see here that you like, and for your own sake, say, I'm going to include more of those in my diet. Look at all these beautiful foods that actually are sources for your probiotics to grow and flourish. So look at a few of those. Do you love asparagus? Add them into your diet more. Make some garlic and onion soup. Eat artichokes, berries, bananas. You see everything on there. So either take a screenshot or look it up. What foods are good for your as a prebiotic to help your gut stay in good condition? Because as you see on this slide, over on the right hand side, there is a leak in the barrier of your intestinal tract. And when that happens, all kinds of reactions, alarm phases, and things that cause autoimmune dysfunction, meaning you're fighting your own body, happen with leaky gut. So that decreases our immunity and it makes us respond to the wrong things in our immune system. I'm not going to get into a detailed explanation, but suffice it to say, we need good gut lining integrity. Now, look at this. Isn't the body so amazing? On the left-hand side, when the brain's purpose is on digestive function all the time, it distracts your focus. Our brain interprets everything we put in our body as good for you or bad for you. I say friend or foe. If it's saying something is foe that it doesn't recognize, doesn't relate to, doesn't like, or is poisonous, the brain starts getting involved with what's going on in the gut, and the brain is distracted from all the other things it has to do when you're trying to learn, when you're trying to work, when you're trying to sleep, when you're trying to accomplish anything. On the lower part where you see ANS, that's your autonomic nervous system. Digestion needs us to be in our parasympathetic side. That's what makes us digest easily, fully, repair our bodies, assimilate. If you're in your sympathetic overload, which is fight or flight or stress, our digestion shuts down. We don't secrete what we need to break down foods, and you can get symptoms like leaky gut. I don't expect you to memorize any of this, but you see, these are some of the most common probiotics that we have in our system. You may have heard of some of them. Acidophilus is a very common one. You see, it helps prevent viral bacteria from growing, irritable bowel. You see all the different ways that these healthy bacteria help with all kinds of bowel symptoms, allergies, like I mentioned before. Look at this slide. The mouse, the mice in this, the mices in this picture all ate fast food that was, well, no, that's not true. The one who ate fast food is the third one from the end. But when he ate fast food combined with probiotics, he didn't gain as much weight. Same with the one with the control chow, which is a better food source, but still not the best. When that mouse or rat had probiotics in their system, look, they didn't get bloated, they didn't gain weight, they didn't put on excess visceral fat. So even if you have a crappy diet, which I could tell you a story about my kids, but I'm not going to because I don't want to take up too much time. They now eat fast food, but because they had great probiotics in their system, they do okay. Why not just eat yogurt? There's hardly any active cultures in almost all yogurts unless it's a whole milk from a real small farm, not heat processed, etc. So most yogurts don't have enough of benefit to say that they're going to be enough. I like these pre and probiotics. This prebiotic here on the right has a wonderful flavor. It comes in a powder. I put it in my drink with protein powder, and I know that I'm feeding my gut health. The probiotics on the left are wonderful because they have a coating, so they don't get digested with your own foods in your stomach. They get broken down more in your intestines, which is when you need it. You can see they support your gut biome, create a healthy environment, you have better bowel movements, and it helps balance your blood sugar. The other thing I love to take is this. It's called 5 to Thrive. I like to say 20 2025, we're going to thrive. It has C, D, zinc, elderberry, which is a great immune system booster. And this fermented yeast extract actually helps decrease allergies. It helps your mucous membranes, and it helped a lot of people get over COVID. So here's my slide. My email is livewellwithlolly and at Gmail. I do self-care retreats. I do Zoom work. I do one-on-one and group counseling. And I'd like to offer you a Zoom free next Saturday at 10 a.m. Diane's going to put the link in the chat for me that you can get on there and we can have a little bit more interaction because I don't have that much time today. I don't want to take up more than my specified amount of time. So you can get my email here. Diane will put the link in the chat. I'm going to go to stop sharing my screen. And if there's time, I'd love to answer any questions. So let's see. Am I on here now? There. Oh, but not my visual. There. Hi. If anybody has a question, I'm sure Sandra will see and unmute you, or I guess you can unmute yourself, however you want to do it.
Okay, Dr. Karen, great presentation, and your Zoom link is in the chat. And if they want more information about your landing page, it's also there in the chat. So
yes,
you can grab it from there.
My landing page will give you a free PDF on releasing worry and the mind-body connection, and it will also put you onto a mailing list so that I can tell you when I'm having events. Thank you so much for having me, Diane. Thank you, everybody, for your valuable time.
Okay, so let's give it up for Sandra. Let's give it up for Dr. Karen. Okay, do we have any questions in the chat? Sandra, did you notice anything? I didn't think I saw anything. We got Mother Miranda. So we're going to make these laser shares because we don't want, we're already running a little bit behind. Mother Miranda?
Thank you. Thank you very much, Doc, for your presentation. I flagged some of the questions that you asked, and one of them really is, how often do you give your power away out of your gut? And it is just such an important question, which I really want to sit with, because we lose that power. And then you gave us some explanation on strength. And I like the fact that you talked about the two sides of mystery, how we show love and our desire for the inner knowing. And those really sat with me, because we give so much of ourselves away and we don't really come home to self. And you did talk about when you come home, who are you? Do you make that connection? And finally, I will check out those Life Vantage, that brand of products that you mentioned. Thank you very much. If it's coming from you, I'm sure it's authentic, and I look forward to getting the benefit from those products. Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you, Mother Miranda. I'll actually put the link to those products in the chat in a few minutes. So thank you. I love all you, and I hope that you will allow yourself the opportunity to become familiar with your personal pelvic palace, because it is a powerhouse that's largely untapped, and we can really get filled up and then give from a place of fullness. Thank you.